Ever launch something you were sure your customers would love, only to hear crickets? In this episode, you'll hear me coach a farmer through a subscription offer that isn't selling. And together, we uncover the mistake many farms are making when they ask their customers to buy. Let's get started.
Hey there, this is Corinna Bench, and welcome to the My Digital Farmer podcast. In today's market, it's not enough to just grow your product. You've got to know how to sell it too. Welcome to the My Digital Farmer podcast, where we reveal online marketing strategies and tips to help farmers like you get better and more confident at marketing. Learn how to find more customers, increase your sales, and build a strong brand for your farm. Let's start.
Welcome to episode 367 of the My Digital Farmer podcast. I'm your host, Corinna Bench, one of the farmers at Shared Legacy Farms out in Elmore, Ohio. I'm also the founder of mydigitalfarmer.com, which is all about trying to help other farmers like you get more confident in your marketing and sales strategy so that you can grow a profitable business. Welcome back to the show. Big shout out to all of my regular listeners. I'm glad you're here. And thank you for recommending the podcast to other farmers. I really appreciate that. If you're new to the show, I'm glad you're here today and I hope you get a lot out of it. It's going to be a good one. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and go check out my first 10 episodes. They are like an onboarding ramp into the marketing space. If you don't know a lot about marketing and you want to learn the basic framework, that's the place to start because we begin with the key principles that everything else is built on. I also highly recommend that you get onto my email list. That is free. I made it for farmers to kind of give you a crash course in the marketing framework. When you subscribe, go to mydigitalfarmer.com/subscribe. I'll send you an email every week for about 3 months, and I'm going to basically drip out the most important things you need to know in the right order in case you want to follow that rabbit trail and learn the framework and learn the key concepts that are undergirding everything in marketing. It's a really good education. mydigitalfarmer.com/subscribe. Today's podcast is sponsored by my friends at Local Line. If you run a CSA, sell direct or wholesale, or manage all three, summer is when it all happens at once. Packed markets, weekly CSA boxes, and a harvest that keeps coming. Local Line helps you handle your busiest season with less stress and more control. In 2025, farms and food hubs using Local Line grew their sales by 33%, with average order values up 31%. That's real results across operations of all sizes on the platform. Local Line brings everything together in one platform: CSA management, wholesale ordering, automated inventory, box builder, and POS. Run all your direct channels from the same place, whether that's your CSA, market sales, a farm stop, or a food hub. And through their marketplace partnerships now, you can reach chefs and buyers nationwide through Cisco, Gordon Food Service, and US Foods with a low barrier to entry. Switching is easy too. There are no setup fees, no sales commissions, and their team will migrate your storefront for free even mid-season, and it only takes a few days. As a podcast listener, you'll get one premium feature free for a full year when you use my coupon code MDF2026 at checkout. So head to mydigitalfarmer.com/local line, all one word, and then enter that coupon code MDF2026 at checkout. Make the most of peak season with Local Line. It's streamlined, it's efficient, and it's built for growth. And now back to the show. Well, hey there. Welcome back to the podcast. I am recording this on June 10th, and I start my CSA this coming Monday. We are in high gear getting all of the logistics and the details, the final confirmations with our customer base, and just kind of resetting the systems and the way that we do farming for the next 4 or 5 months. So my duties really multiply this time of year. I'm doing a lot of the communication with our customer base. And this year we're doing a new online store credit membership. So I have kind of two different groups of customers to manage and make sure that that particular marketing line does well this year. So I'm excited. I hope you have some new things that you are trying as well, beta testing. And just remember, so much of marketing is just testing stuff and figuring out what works, optimizing it, continuously improving it, debriefing it, and continuously improving it. So I wish you well. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain and letting you listen in on a real coaching call from inside Farm Marketing School. I offer these to members of FMS after they've been inside the program for at least 3 months. And it's a way for them to have some one-on-one time with me, touch base with me, ask questions about a specific project or something that they're working on. Maybe they need help dialing in their sales funnel. And I really love these. So for those of you who are in Farm Marketing School, I hope you take advantage of them when these offers are made to you. They show up periodically in kind of your customer journey as you stay in the school. Every time I have one, like I go in wondering what's the value that's going to come out of this call. And I'm always surprised because when we first start out, I really have no idea what we're going to talk about in many cases. And by the time we get to the end of the call, I'm like, wow, like that really helped unlock something for them. I could see a shift. And one of the things I've noticed as I do these calls is a lot of the things that we end up talking about that end up being the main issue, they kind of fall into like 3 to 5 categories. It's really interesting. And so today is an example of such a call. The issue that we end up circling around is a very common problem that comes up for a lot of my farmers. And so if you are listening to today's coaching session and you're nodding your head and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm sort of doing that too. There's no shame in that. Like, this is a very common problem. I remember dealing with this myself at a certain stage in my business as a farm. And so we just want to talk it out, do some investigating, some observing, and hopefully see a way out, see some principles for how you can get yourself through some of these scenarios and get some practical tools for graduating out of that problem, right? So my guest is Lexi, and she is the sales and marketing manager for Pigasus Meats, which is a farm in Vermont. They sell pasture-raised meats directly to consumers. And I asked Lexi after the call if it would be okay to share this podcast with you because I think there is some really great wisdom in here that a lot of you could benefit from. And she was totally cool with it. So thank you, Lexi, for being willing to share this call. Just wanted you guys to know that I did get permission. So Lexi recently launched a simple supper box subscription. That's what they called it. And they had a goal of selling 10 boxes a month, 10 of these subscriptions a month. And after several months, they had sold exactly one. Now, whenever something isn't selling, our first instinct is usually to blame the product or maybe blame our marketing or, we start telling ourselves things like customers don't want my stuff, it's not a good product, or the price is wrong, my marketing isn't good enough. But as you'll hear in this conversation, we uncover some other possibilities. The problem isn't necessarily the product itself. It's going to be something else. And I want you to see if you resonate with it as you listen. I want you to pay attention to 3 things. First of all, notice how often we talk about what customers are already buying, because those clues matter a lot. Okay. Number 2, I want you to listen for the difference between a product and an offer, because they are not the same thing. And I beat this drum a lot in podcasts on this show. And we're going to we're going to talk about it again. And I think it's an unclear concept for many farmers. And so we'll just keep hashing it out. And one day you're going to be able to switch your eyes and be able to see. And then third, I want you to ask yourself this question. Am I asking customers to marry me before we've gone on a first date? And we'll hash out that metaphor a little bit more later. Because if you have an offer that isn't converting right now in your own business, that particular question might reveal a lot for you. Okay? So, without further ado, we're going to jump into the coaching call and you're going to listen in. I've edited it a little bit and cut out some of the parts that weren't as important to the conversation. And I will occasionally interject. I'll come in and offer some commentary and kind of pull out and tease out what I want you to have seen from the section that you just heard. So prepare for me to do that occasionally. And I hope you get a lot out of this call. I want you to be thinking through the eyes of your business. Some of the stuff that Lexi's dealing with is stuff that you have either dealt with before or you are currently in the middle of, or that you will deal with in the future. So absorb it, take it all in, and listen to the principles. Okay, here we go. How are you? Give me a little background, Lexi, and then what do you want to do with this time we have?
I'm well. I'm doing good. So I have been with Pigasus Meats. This is I'm going on my 4th year with Pigasus Meats. However, I only stepped into the role of sales and marketing manager at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
Because we've decided that we want to expand our wholesale, potentially get our products into restaurants in our area because we are a big tourist destination. We're out in the islands of Vermont. So just trying to get that out there. And yeah, the one specific thing I want to talk about today is we started a supper subscription box. And we've only had one person sign up for it. And we started it a few months ago. So I started this subscription box before I started taking classes through the farm school. So I just want to know like what I'm doing wrong, what I can improve on, maybe if things can be more clear to our potential customers. Yeah, so we have like decided what our target demographic is for our area. We have a lot of families, but also we have, like I said, we have those tourist travelers that come through. We also have a lot of, we call them quote unquote snowbirds that are here for half the year that are living close to us. It's called Apple Island Resort, and people have like small manufactured vacation homes that they live in 6 months of the year. So we're just trying to like target that, just trying to help. We call it the simple supper box because we want things to be easy for
A great
our
name. Yeah.
target audience. And the family farm that I work for, they're parents to 2 small children, so they understand that they don't want to spend a ton of time in the kitchen in the afternoons and rather spend time with their kids. But yeah, so that's,
What's inside? Okay, so when you say a simple supper box, I can't tell that it's just meat. Is there other stuff in there?
yes, there is.
Oh, okay.
Let me pull it up real quick. So we do it, it's a 6-month subscription.
Pigasus.com.
Pigasus Meats.
Meats. Okay. Well, I guess not coming up. There you go. Okay, 6 weeks, not 6 months, because you told me 6 months.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm like, okay,
Weeks.
that's a problem.
6 weeks.
Okay.
3 pickups, so bi-weekly pickups.
Okay. So mostly it's a meat box. Like I know you have you got eggs in there and some tortillas and coffee beans, but like it's really meant to be a meat box and they're using that to help build their meals.
Yes.
Okay. So you only have had one person purchase it so far.
Yes.
And your goal What is your goal? What would you like to be selling? How many
I,
would you like to be
I mean,
selling?
we would love to sell 10 a month, like 10.
You want to be at least at 10?
Yeah, that was my target when we started.
Hmm.
Um, and like I said, we've only had one.
Yeah, that does not feel unreasonable. It's like
Yeah.
if you were like, I'd like 50, I'd be like, okay,
Yeah. And just a little background as well. Like, since coming into this role, I've also opened a farm stand. And before that, our products were only accessible via like the farmer's market. So people didn't have the convenience to come and pick up from us. So,
okay.
um,
Yeah, let's talk about that price point, 80 bucks per. No, I want to go back and look. Sorry. Uh
it's like 83.33
per box.
yeah.
So when you sign up, you're like if I added this into my cart, since it is a 6-week subscription, the price is actually not going to be $83. It's going to be 83 times 6,
Yeah.
right?
So
In the amount.
you would pay upfront the 250.
It's 250. Okay.
Yes.
Um, I wonder if that's part of the confusion too, is that they're just not they get to that number and they're like, "Ooh, okay. I don't know if I want to shell out that much all at once."
Okay.
It's just something to think about, like either advertising it slightly differently where it's like the price is actually 250 um or $83 per week since you've told them it's 6 weeks, that somehow that both numbers are kind of put in the same place.
Yeah.
I remember when like I'm not a meat producer, but we have a lot of meat producers in farm marketing school. I've talked to a lot of them. And it seems like there's this magic number of $150, which is a um great price point for a meat product gateway offer.
Okay.
So I'm just going to throw that into the room. Again, I personally don't have experience with that, but if we're thinking of, I was going to ask you, what is like the ladder? Like, how are people moving into your brand? What do they buy first? And is this product being positioned as the first offer, or is it really something you're positioning later once someone has been introduced to your stuff?
I think most people know us so we go to the big town Burlington Farmers Market and we sell
Hmm.
breakfast sandwiches and we
Hmm.
use our patties. And now that I'm looking, our patties are not in the box at all.
Mm.
I didn't say that out loud until now. And now I'm
Yeah.
seeing where that could be an issue. But also our bacon is very popular and that's also not in the box because it's hard to keep bacon. It is extremely hard to keep bacon and the price just
Popular.
keeps going up. And it's just not something that we feel like we could have all the time.
Well,
Sorry.
so stop right there. Like, I mean, if are your subscription members kind of being treated as, to me it sounds a lot like a CSA, right? And in the CSA space we always talk about how CSA members are our premier product, our premier customers, and we take care of them, like they get the
Mm,
cream of the crop, best of the best. And so if you are building the offer in such a way that your best stuff isn't even in there, it almost feels like you could experiment with flipping it for a little bit to see what happens if this product that everybody wants, that I have a hard time keeping in stock, I reserve it for people who get this meat box. Now suddenly the meat box becomes much more attractive because that's the only way they can guarantee that they'll get your bacon and your sausage. That becomes a selling point. So
yeah.
when you do run out of it at the market and people are like, "Oh," you'd be like, "Hey, this is how people who are in our subscription box are getting it." Um,
Yeah.
you could
Okay.
test that. It would be a thought.
Like doing it at that lower price point potentially. And then, okay. Yeah. Okay. And then, yeah, adding the sausage
Well,
and
I'm not saying you have to like lower like the price point observation was more just that this is if this is being positioned as the first offer, like the thing that you should start with when you come into our brand, it's a little bit high for a first offer, according to what I have seen in the meat space. Um, Seven Sons, I know, does this too. Like they sort of AIM, they're a big, if you don't know about them, they're a farm you should be following.
Okay.
Seven Sons, Seven Sons, just Google Seven Sons Farm. They do meat online. And I want to say like 150, all their packages kind of land around there, but that's uh, if this isn't going to be your gateway offer though, like if you say that most people come into our brand, come into our markets, and they start out buying our sausages, then then maybe the issue is you're trying to pitch this to the wrong audience too soon, and that's the problem. Do you see what? So there's a
Yeah.
couple of things that could be going on here where you're like, oh, this is my main offer. I'm leading with this. Nobody's buying it. Well, maybe it's not working because the price point is too high for a first offer. But it could also just be, no, I need that to be the price point. Well, then it's just, well, then we need to move it to your second or third offer. You've got to have another way to get people in, and then you're the issue then is that you're positioning, you're not talking about it at the right time or to the right people. Like you need them to have gone through a few steps before you say, here's the thing. All right, this is my first interjection. I want to try and summarize and clarify the principle that I was trying to explain here to Lexi. When Lexi first came into this call, she thought that she had a subscription box problem. The box wasn't selling, and there was this assumption that the customers didn't want it for some reason. But what we're actually uncovering here, this is sort of like mining information, is that the issue may not be the subscription box at all. The issue may be that the box is being offered too early. So think about what a new customer has to do in order to say yes to this offer. They have to trust the farm. They have to understand the value of pasture-raised meat. They have to commit to multiple pickups. They're going to have to spend $250 in one pop. They're going to have to believe that the product that they're going to get every week is tasty and yummy. So, in theory, I think it's best practice if they've already tested some of your meat on a smaller scale before they're committing to a larger commitment. So, this is a pretty big first step. And I see businesses make this mistake quite a bit. They take what is actually a later stage offer, a CSA, a subscription, a membership, and they try to make it the first thing a new customer buys. But most customers don't easily start there. And I just want to say, like, I'm raising my hand here. The first 8 years of our business, this is how we operated. We had one item. It was an 18-week CSA membership box. And we didn't have another way to test our produce except by coming to the farmer's market and just buying stuff there, but we didn't have any other way in. What I have learned in our business over the last few years is that it's a much easier starting point for a brand new person to purchase something simple: a pound of ground beef, a package of bacon, a breakfast sandwich, a market purchase. Those small purchase opportunities, having something like that in your sales funnel, is the way to build trust. It's the way to give somebody a chance to just try out your food and see if they like how it tastes. Is it really greasy? um, can they tell a difference between that and grocery store produce or meat? And that trust then leads to repeat purchases. They come back, they buy again, maybe they spend a little bit more the next time. And the frequency then increases the more they become a fan of your produce, right? Bigger purchases eventually lead to subscriptions, perhaps even. So instead of asking, how are we going to sell more subscription boxes? A better question might be, what should happen before someone is ready to be given a subscription box offer? Have we made sure that this person has traveled through all of those stages in my customer journey? And for some of us, we just haven't thought about building a journey, building an ideal pathway of products for people to do first, second, third? And where does something like a subscription box fall into that pathway? Today's podcast is sponsored by Farm Marketing School, my monthly membership for farmers. Before we dive back into the episode, I want to speak to a very specific kind of farmer for a second. If you're a year or two into your business and things are working, but your marketing still feels kind of scattered, like you're posting, you're sending some emails, you're running promotions, but it all feels disconnected and you're not sure what's actually driving sales. I just want to say that's not a lack of effort. That's just a lack of structure. Because most farmers don't need more ideas. What they need is a system that connects everything together. And that's exactly why I built Farm Marketing School. Inside, I teach you how to actually design your marketing so that it works like a machine, a system, not a bunch of random tactics. We map out your full customer journey. We build your email engine. We create intentional promotions and product pathways. So your marketing starts handing off from one piece to the next like a relay race instead of you running every leg yourself. And we do it through 30-day project builds. So you're not just learning about marketing, you're actually finishing things. You're actually building the marketing assets in your marketing machine, your sales funnel, your promotions, your lead magnet, your weekly email rhythm, all your marketing assets. And that's when the shift happens. Marketing starts to feel lighter. The flywheel starts to spin. Sales start to feel more predictable. And you finally feel like, okay, I'm on the right track. I know what I'm doing. If that's what you've been longing for and what you've been missing, then I want to invite you to join Farm Marketing School just for a month. Come inside and see what it's all about. You can learn more at mydigitalfarmer.com/FMS. And now back to the show. Now, you've also just suggested, well, it doesn't have the right stuff in the package, maybe to attract my ideal customer. And so that is another way. This is all just an offer question. Like it sounds like the offer isn't quite right.
Sure.
And I want to make sure you understand the distinction between a product and an offer. Do you know the difference, or do we need to talk about that a little
Let's
bit?
talk about it a little bit.
Okay. So the product is, I sell sausage. Here's my sausage. An offer is where you're stacking. It's like the marketing, the packaging, the way you name it, the price you give it. Maybe there's a little bonus attached if you do this, the deadline, the urgency, all the things that you jazz it up with to attract the eyeballs and make them feel like, ooh, that's what I want. So, a very classic example of an offer would be a bundle that you price at a slightly lower rate than if you bought them individually. And so so you could be selling chicken over here, the same cuts of chicken, but that if you bundle them and it's priced a little bit lower, now that's a different offer. Someone might go, oh, I'm going to get a better deal if I do that. And now you've gotten them to you've raised their average cart value.
Okay.
Or, in a CSA, the classic example is my CSA is going to be a traditional CSA. And if you pre-order by this day, you got 7 days to make your decision. You're also going to get a free bag of coffee with your first week, and you'll have access to the online store 4 hours before the rest of the public does to order additional things all year long. Plus, you get a 5% discount code on fish that you buy from Citizen Salmon Alaska. Do you see how I just keep stacking benefits?
Mm-hmm.
That's like the offer. Whereas technically, I'm just selling a box of vegetables.
Right. But
Okay. Yeah. So this is an offer thing, an offer issue where you haven't put the right packaging or the right combination of meats that are attracting the customer, or the price point hasn't been anchored properly, so it feels high, even though it's maybe not. But maybe like if you stuck a product right next to it, that was even more. Now suddenly this price of 280 or whatever doesn't feel as bad as they're also offering like half half a hog for whatever.
Yeah.
um, it could be the timing of it. It could be, that you're sending it to the way you're sending it, communicating the offer. So there's a lot of different factors. Okay, I'm going to jump in here again and reiterate this point. This is such a huge point. Offers and products are not the same thing. And the sooner you can learn the distinction and learn how to build a great offer, the better you're going to get at sales. So just listen to all of the things that we were just discussing changing: the cuts of meat that were included in the box, the price, the length of the commitment, how the product is positioned in the customer journey, like when it shows up. Even the name, we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the episode, in the interview, but discussing possibly changing the name so it's a little more clear that there's meat inside of it. The promise of the product, and even who the offer is intended for. Who's the ideal customer that's supposed to buy into this and who would really enjoy it, right? All of these different elements are parts of crafting the offer. And it's such an important skill to practice, learning how to make your offers irresistible. Usually it involves urgency, scarcity. Remember, we talked about, hey, maybe you should put in things like bacon that typically run out. And so if you can promise people who buy this particular subscription, like, we will always give you the bacon first, that becomes now a very powerful, alluring product. If you're one of those people that really wants the bacon, now you're like, okay, well, I'm willing to get the subscription box because that's going to get me bacon every week. So in this part of the call, we had an offer that just isn't quite irresistible yet. It's okay. Um, but it's not quite dialed in. And so we just tweak, we practice, we play in the sandbox, we start redesigning the offer. What Lexi needs is just a better combination of products. She needs maybe a better product promise, a better price point, and just a better way of communicating the value of that box. So think about what happened in this part of the coaching call. The original simple supper box was asking customers to commit 6 weeks of meat that didn't even include some of the farm's most sought after products. And it wasn't positioned as the insider's way to guarantee access to the items that routinely sell out if you just go to the farmer's market. And so it kind of made me wonder in the call, well, why aren't we leading with the products people are already raising their hands for, that they really want, that they're standing in line for? So just ask yourself, are you making a mistake like that of marketing the products that you wish customers would buy instead of the products the customers are already proving they love because they're buying them? Your best-selling items aren't just products, they are clues, and often they should become the front door into your business. Okay, so just think about that. All right, let's go back to the coaching call. What's the primary way that you are pitching it?
Via our social media, and we use it's called Front Porch Forum, which is a local like group.
Hmm.
Like
Okay, we're sort of like a Facebook group where people are in and
yeah, it's like for our community, which is
okay,
how our community typically puts out information.
okay. Um, so you're not using email?
Oh, sorry. Yes, we are also using email. Yes,
Okay,
we have an email list of about 475. That is the ebb and flow of the year, but I've
okay,
also I've taken many of your online classes and like done the tags, and the people who want to be there are going to be there, and do not get discouraged when people start unsubscribing because they don't
yeah,
want to be there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And is that you have a lead magnet now in place? Do you have
Yes.
are you advertising the lead magnet on a regular basis in
Yes.
social media? Okay.
Since we've started it, we've gained about 25 subscribers who actually want to be there because of the
Good.
lead.
That's great. And once they get on your email list, what happens?
When they get on the email list, they are sent a welcome email that has a link to our sausage guide that they can download. And it also comes with the code to get $15 off their first purchase of $20 or more, which $15 is a pack of sausage or a pack of bacon.
Okay.
And so they get that for free, but we put it at the $20 price point.
Mhm.
So they'll buy something else as well to go with that.
And are you noticing that are people taking advantage of that first offer?
No.
No one's taking it. Okay.
So I'm interested about that.
How long have you been running that?
Um, end of end of April. End of April.
End of
So
April.
about a month.
Okay. I mean, are you in like the season where like you really got stuff available where people should in
We
theory be off?
have a big
Okay.
stock right now.
Okay.
We're running kind of low, but like I said, we are a tourist destination, and the cash flow of the busy season is coming through, so we're able to like have more of our products on a more consistent
Mm-hmm.
basis. Because our popular stuff sells out very quickly. We have like a Thai sausage that sells out almost instantly, and our patties sell out almost instantly. We just couldn't keep up.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's really interesting. Pay attention to that, because that's your lure. Those things that are selling out, you can either raise the price. You should think
yeah,
about experiment. No, seriously, like even just a
yeah,
little bit.
we
And
did. We
I bet
did.
no one would notice. They'd still
We,
buy it.
yeah, we did just raise everything about $2 a piece
Okay.
at the
When
end, around that same time frame, the end of April.
when you have items that are selling like off the shelf crazy, that is a sign that they are priced too low.
Okay.
That is like marketing 101 right there. So I know it's going to feel uncomfortable to raise the price of just those items, but test it and see what happens. And you will notice that the sales will go down, but that maybe isn't a bad thing. Um, you want to find that perfect sweet spot, like you don't, so that you're not always out, but you're always on the fringe of being out. Like that's kind of good, but um, yeah. But anyway, that's a sign. It's also a sign that that might be something that you lead with in your offers, or it becomes a lure to get people, if they buy the thing you want them to buy, then they get a free one of those, or you do have to kind of think about the pricing of all that. But
Okay.
anyway, so no one's taking that initial offer
Right.
in the email. So that's a sign that you should probably switch that offer. So change it. No one's taking it. So maybe it's instead of like if it's and maybe it's just saying you get a free instead of saying $15 off, say you get a free sausage when you spend $50 or more.
Yeah, I do have it like it says $15 off, and in parentheses it says that's a free package of bacon or sausage, my friend, or something like that.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if people just aren't like reading the parentheses, maybe. Um,
It's just a lot for the brain to process. I feel
okay,
like it's easier to just pick something and say you're going to get a free pick something. It doesn't have to be the most popular item either. It could be your a classic that everybody a common thing that I hear people in FMS using is like just ground beef or stuff that they all need.
right.
Like it's the
Kitchen
uh
sink.
yeah, thank you. I was like, what's that word? A staple. Um because they're like, oh, well that's not, but also to raise the stakes like $50, what's the average amount that a person spends when they come into your store for
Yeah,
your ideal customer, the one you want to have, right? You want to have customers that spend your typical AOV amount. I'm making up a number. Let's say it's $50,
yeah,
$75 in a transaction. Well, then just raise that bar. Be like, this is what people spend when they come to my store. So if you spend $50, I'm going to give you a free blah, 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 whatever it
yeah.
is. So just change it and make it really clear. Like just pick the item and test that for a month and see if that does anything. And I would start advertising that too, maybe even on social. Like when you join our email list, you're going to get this on the other side.
Okay.
Test that as well. Um, Okay, so that's interesting. So because something's breaking down there, people are getting on your list, but they're not actually turning into buyers
Right.
yet.
Or
Okay, so
maybe
that's
people are waiting for that to use them on the bacon, which we haven't had, but we're getting it back tomorrow. So I don't, yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Well, and if you switch the items so that it's not bacon, right? Like if you go in there now and you change your offer to $15 off, because that gives them freedom to decide what they want. Instead, you're very specific. No, it's this thing. It's this staple that I know I will always have, that I don't have to worry about them waiting for like when it comes in stock. It needs to be frictionless, right? Something you always have that people like, they'll throw it in. Yeah, I would try that. All right, so I'm jumping in here again. Just want to point out this observation here that the lead magnet offer is a little too abstract. So notice the difference between a couple of the offers that we were discussing. The first offer was get $15 off your first purchase. So this is the bait being dangled in front of someone to try and turn them from just being someone on the email list to actually now making their first purchase. That's a powerful moment. We want people to start spending money with us because something shifts in the brain. There's a psychology moment there, and they're much more likely to continue purchasing once they've made that first transaction with their money. Okay, so this is a big hurdle that we have to get over. So we are willing to put a little bit of bait out there, make it a little bit easier to spend money with us the first time just to help overcome that point of friction. Okay, so that was offer number one, get $15 off your first purchase. And then the second one was a little more concrete. It was get a free pound of sausage or a free bacon with your first order, something that is very popular and sometimes runs out of stock. Okay. So technically, those offers might be worth about the same amount, but they don't feel the same. Do you notice that? Why is that? Because one of them was abstract and one of them was concrete. So when a customer hears $15 off, their brain has to do the work of figuring out, well, what does that actually mean? Is it a good deal? And what's priced at $15 that I might like? Let me go see all their options. Oh wow, they have a lot of options. I'm overwhelmed. I don't know which one to choose. There's just a lot of decision fatigue potentially in that, right? But when you say something like free package of sausage, well, there's no calculation required, right? They can picture what that is in their head. They can imagine exactly what they're getting, what they're going to do with it. So this is a common mistake that we all make as farms, right? We'll say things like save 10% or get $20 off or receive a discount, but customers get excited about specificity, about products, about very concrete things. I think that then percentage off. Now there's exceptions, but as first offer type things, the more specific you can be, the better. So they'll get excited about a free pumpkin pie or a free bouquet or a free dozen eggs or a free pound of ground beef or whatever land you live in the product suite. So the more tangible your offer becomes, the easier it's going to be for your customers to understand and see and picture the value. Okay, so clarity converts. If someone has to stop and do the math or pick from a product suite of 15 products, you've created friction for them. So the best first offers are often the ones that can be understood in a millisecond. So just think about that. Okay, that's something that's worth testing. So you tell me, what is the easiest, if you were a potential customer, what is the easiest way to flow and start working with you? Because I don't think it's the meat box.
I don't think it's the meat box. I think it's the trying your breakfast sandwiches and then coming back and saying, "Hey, I want a package of the patties that you were selling that you make your breakfast sandwiches with." "Oh, well,
Mm,
I like that. Let me grab some pork chops for dinner." "Oh, I
mm.
really liked those. Well, I'm having a barbecue this weekend. Let me get 5 packages of sausage for me and my friends." "Oh, I liked that. Oh, you've got Boston butts for sale? Okay, I need 3 Boston butts."
Yeah. Okay. So it's almost like you've already identified two or three there different. those were offers, because it's almost like what's the unique packaging or combo or next step that you're going to lay out on a platter, because it's almost like, come here, I know what you want now, and right, and you're
Yeah,
leading them into your lair. So that's the challenge, and this is like playing in the sandbox. You just got to figure out what is that unique path that a lot of people want to be taken down. And the goal is you could either build it as an email thing, or it could be a coupon, like a physical coupon when they come to the store. Um, after their first purchase, if there's a way for you to identify, oh, this is a brand new person, like they get a coupon for the second offer, right? Like to encourage them to come back. And that
okay.
second offer is a different thing to encourage them to explore a new product.
Like a physical coupon.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I was thinking like some kind of printed material that has what it is, and then there's maybe a coupon code on it that allows them to go order it online. Um, Maybe it has an expiration date on it as well I don't know what Barn to Door can do. I know Local Line has the ability to
Yeah,
give
you
coupon codes out. Okay.
I can make
Um,
my own coupon codes as well and
okay.
put those in, and I can set specific parameters on what items you can use it on and such.
Yeah. I feel like that's the first order of events. And then this meat box is sort of like um offer number 3 or 4, to make them aware that it exists, because they need to like dabble in the things that are in that meat box. Um, they need to come to trust you and be like, I like their stuff. Do you see how this is a big ask for them to commit $250 every week, 6 weeks in a row? Like, what if they buy and they're like, I don't like this. I don't like the taste. You need to make sure they have a chance to try your stuff. This is amazing meat. It's not greasy or whatever. And then you're like, by the way, we've got this bundle over here, um, that might fit your life. And I think that another way you could approach this is, I mean, you could sell that item primarily via email at the right point in the funnel, right? Once they've been issued the other 3 offers before it, there could be kind of a timing thing in your email. Like at this point, when they've been on my list for this long, they get this email that says, here's this offer. You could also try to do it as a launch, where for a specific amount of time, like let's say 7 to 10 days, you are broadcasting, featuring, promoting, talking a lot about this on social, making a big deal about it, um, pointing to it, saying this is a special thing we're doing, sign up now, and try that method to see if you can get like a beta test. Almost, you could even like advertise it as a beta test. Like, I'm looking for people to help us test this new concept. And now people are like asking themselves, do I identify as a beta tester, as someone who's an early
Yeah.
adopter, and I want to help them try this out? Like, because you're trying to get feedback, right? Is this a good thing? Is this what's wrong with it? What more are we missing? Because I do a lot of my new products, I always test them as beta tests, and I talk about them as beta tests. And now people are like, yeah, I want to be a feedback person. I'll tell you what I think. And maybe I price it a little bit lower than I plan to eventually the first time I do beta test. But in return, I say, listen, you're getting this product at a discount, but I'm asking you in return to give me feedback, and I'm going to ask you to write a review so that you have some kind of a testimonial to use as an asset to sell it later. But
Okay.
you'll learn a lot if you try the beta test method, you'll learn. I have a feeling that you would be able to get 5 people at least. Um, I'm looking for 5 people to be my beta testers. And now you've got
Mm.
a target that feels doable, and you can test it on a 6-week basis and see what you learn. And
Do you
maybe you'll get 10, but like to just make the number feel like exclusive.
do you offer the beta test at the same price that you would normally? Like to
Yeah, so usually a beta test has It can be. Um, I feel like if it were me, I would discount it slightly. I wouldn't be losing money on it. But maybe I would not be expecting, I'm not looking at it as a method for making huge amounts of profit the first time. So beta test is the first time, right? You only do it once. So it's just a test. You're investing. You're willing to look at this as like, I'm not going to make money on this, but I'm gaining testimonials, feedback. I'm going to get my offer dialed in so that I can relaunch it again after I learn from these people. And maybe many of those will then do it again, right?
Yeah.
Um, but calling it a beta test, calling out to people to join as beta testers, that you want feedback, you're excited about launching a new program, you're looking for these kind of people. I've got 5 spots. That like feels scarcity big time. And putting it out there in the public, but also sending it to your exclusive people, letting them know it's only 6 weeks. I'm discounting the price. You don't have to tell them how much, but um, yeah, all those things feel like an offer. Like, oh, that's an offer I don't want to refuse.
Yes.
Okay, I want to jump back in here for the last time and just point out once again the whole concept of the beta test. I did an entire episode about beta testing. This is a really powerful tool you have in your arsenal to test new products, new offers, or when something's not working, th- like just doing some beta testing around it. So we stopped talking about launching a product for the first time and we started talking instead about the beta test. And these are very different mindsets. When most farmers launch something new, they put a tremendous amount of pressure on themselves. I know I'm raising my hand here. We feel like the offer has to be perfect and the pricing has to be spot on and the messaging has to be amazing. And, we launch it to everyone. But what if that's backwards? What if the goal of the first version isn't to scale it? What if the goal of the first time you pitch something is simply to learn? I really want you to think about that. And positioning it as a beta test gives you permission to to be curious and to be public about the fact that it's a beta test. It just positions the whole thing in a different way to your customers, and they look at it differently. So now instead of needing 50 customers, maybe you only need 5 because you're going to do it on a small scale for a small amount of time. And instead of trying to prove that the offer works, you're just looking at it as I'm just trying to discover what elements make it better. And here's the other thing that I love about doing beta tests. Customers know that they're helping you build something. So they are more forgiving. They're more likely to give feedback. They're more excited about trying it out. They just come to it with a different posture. And they'll tell you what they loved, what confused them, what they changed. If they don't like something about the offer, they don't feel cheated or like, oh, that was a dumb purchase. They're like eager to just share the feedback. They're ready to look for things to help improve it and to make it better. And they're a partner with you in creating this new product. So right now, Pigasus is asking people to join a subscription box that nobody else seems to be talking about. That's a really hard sell. But if you beta test it, you'll have testimonials, you'll have photos from people who actually used it, you'll have success stories, you'll have real customers are describing what it was like in their own words, and you're going to have feedback like, hey, you should have had this cut of meat in the box, or I didn't really use this one a ton, or maybe you could have a couple of these because what I really want is 2 pounds of sausage meat a week, not just one, for how I really want to use it in my kitchen. Like all of this stuff is interesting data to allow you to reposition or repackage the offer the next time around. Right? So now you're not marketing the second time with just assumptions. You're marketing with evidence. You're tweaking the offer, you're improving it, and that's just a much stronger place to be. So I really want you to think about the power of beta testing. Okay, let's dive back into the last part of the interview.
And I love how you like make the relationship connection. My background is in human development and family studies.
Oh
So
yeah?
it's very interesting to me. And I've flipped our like farm and company dynamic to like making it more personal with people
Mm,
because it is a relationship that you have. I mean, you're providing a very important element of their everyday life, which is their food. And you want them to think about you when they eat that food. So,
yeah,
and how it's a relationship. So I really like that. And it's helping me a lot.
good. Oh, good.
Yes.
Yeah, so that would be a thought if you're trying, like, we originally started this conversation with like, Kurt, I need to sell 10 of these. Um, so I want to make sure that we discuss that. I do
Yeah.
think you have a couple of issues going on. So it's not just why aren't these selling? Well, I think part of the issue is that you don't quite have the right offer. Um, but you may also just not have pitched it the right way. So beta testing as a launch is a great way. Pick a good time of the year to do that. Give yourself enough of a runway to hype it up and talk about it. Only pitch it for a short amount of time. Like, don't make it open for 30 days. It should be like 7 days. You got to make a decision, back them up against the wall. Don't just send one email, send them several emails, and um, just see what happens. See if you can get, I feel like you could get five. There's a promotion, the promotion launch project in pro marketing school is one to watch because it'll teach you the formula for launching anything. Um,
I did that one after the fact. So
okay.
when we relaunch, I'm going to use that
Yeah.
because we were not in the farm school when I started that project.
Okay. Yeah.
So
But I also think you need to address the sales funnel piece. Like, how are people first finding out about you? What is the first offer? What is the obvious first step for people to buy?
right.
And it I don't think it is the meat box, because that's a bigger commitment that
Yeah.
involves just, I don't know, more of like, yeah, I eat meat a lot. Like, I'm going to
Yeah.
go through that. That's a commitment. I'm going to do it every week for 6 weeks, and then I'm going to renew. And people don't usually start there. They want to dabble and I just want some sausage. Oh, this is so good. Let's go try their pork butts. Or,
Yeah.
there's a more slow, a longer on ramp to your freeway.
Okay.
Okay. So don't ask that big meat box to do all your heavy lifting right away. I think eventually it will become, subscriptions are great because they give you consistent revenue and you can kind of count on, the income eventually, but it takes a while to build them.
Awesome. This was a lot of very, very useful and helpful information. Thank you very much.
Good. Okay, what are you going to do with this call? What is your next step? What do you feel?
I would definitely recommend that it is kind of pricey for our first offer. I do agree. And how you said it should be like the third or fourth offer. And that we have the wrong stuff in the box because what are people wanting to get? Could they're wanting to get our bacon and they're wanting to get our patties. So those
Mm,
things need to be offered. Maybe switching the name, changing the name to something different. So it's a little bit more clear about what's inside the box. Um,
I
uh,
like simple supper. It really like slides off the tongue. However, it is not clear that it's meat.
yes. Yeah.
So, I mean, simple supper meat box, you could do that too.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't know if that's the issue. That's not probably the main issue, but there's a bunch of little things that you could try optimizing to see. Put that button underneath that
Yes.
where you
I,
describe
yeah.
it so that it's in a bright color or something, not white, but maybe the orange on white. What,
Yes. I'm gonna
um,
do
yeah.
that very soon. I really like the idea of a beta test because there are specific ideal customers that I'm thinking about by name that I'm like, this would be
Mhm.
awesome for you. And I think if it was at a more approachable price point, you would do it.
Mm, yes.
Because I mean, just the times, the economy, like I get it. To dishing out $250 just on meat at one specific time can be challenging for budgets and
Mhm.
such. Like I know for me and my husband, that would be a lot for us to spend at
Yeah.
one time just on meat. Um,
Maybe you lower it to a 4 week for the beta test,
okay.
and that helps you lower the price.
And just do like two pickups. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
With an offer to have an extension.
Okay.
I don't know, you maybe at week 3 you're like, "Hey, are you liking it? I'd love to go one more time." I mean,
At a discounted rate of blah blah blah. Yeah.
yeah, it could be
Okay.
like, "Let's extend our party, our beta test, because we
Let's have
yeah,
dinner one more time.
yeah."
Okay.
Um, all of those are good suggestions. I wanted to end with a story, a personal story where before I started farm marketing school, I wanted to do something like this eventually, but I didn't know how to get there. And so I decided to have it used to be called the accelerator program. And this is where I had 10 farmers. We would meet live every month to teach. I would teach one project at a time live to them, and then we would meet up for a monthly live group coaching session where they could ask questions, and somebody would sit in the hot seat and show us their work. And there was a lot of like accountability, like, okay, did you build the website? Let me see what you did, and we talk it out, right? So that's so how I kind of started creating all this stuff. And I remember being really nervous about how do I get those people into Accelerator. And my business coach told me, same concept of let's beta test it, try this thing for 3 months. And she said, I want you to personally enroll people. And I was like, what does that mean? Personally enroll people. She's like, well, you can picture people in your head right now, right? Certain farmers that you have a relationship with that you actually really want in this group because you've interviewed them for your podcast, or they're really cool people. And I was like, yeah, I actually can. She's like, I want you to reach out to those people and invite them into this sort of mastermind exclusive experience. And I'm like, yeah, but I want to charge like $500. That's a lot. She's like, yeah, but it's worth it. And they're gonna be so excited to work with you. I'm like, really? Anyway, so that's how I got my first 5. I reached out to them, some over phone, some over text, some over, email, and just personally invited them into this thing I wanted to play with, like play in the sandbox with me. And they all said yes. And the first 5, and then when I had 5, I was like, well, now I know I'm going to do it because I've got at least 5, and I feel more comfortable sending out an email, a more like blanket email to a bunch of other people to invite them into the program because I know it's happening.
Yeah.
And and then I actually had more people than I could fit. So I share that story with you because I too felt like all this like resistance of who's going to want this, and I'm scared. This is a new offer. It could bomb. What if nobody takes me up on it? What does that make me think it means for me, that I'm a terrible salesperson, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's all just, normal. It's
Yeah.
normal. And so the personally enrolling, you told me that you could think of people right now that you would imagine would probably like this. So personally invite them, use that relationship piece. Be like, hey, I think this would like I'm really excited to do this thing. And I know it's not for everyone. I want to have certain people that I really trust that are going to give me good feedback. And I can think of like 10 people. You are one of those people. And I just wanted to throw this out at you. Do you see how that comes from like a really different
Yeah.
space? And they'll want that more likely to, if they had resistance, some of that will be less because you took the time to say, I need your help and I trust you and I really want you to do this. Now they're going to want to help you succeed. They're coming alongside you as a collaborator. There's just a different feeling, and it's I don't know. I just feel like if you could hand select the people and start there before you try promoting it in all the normal usual ways, you might be surprised that you find 5 people really fast, and now you've got like wind beneath your wings, and it's easier for you to go out and try to get even more.
Yeah.
So throw that into the space. Okay.
Yeah. That's awesome. Thank
All
you.
right. You're welcome. Have an amazing. Do you want the recording of this sent to you or are you
Um,
good?
sure, you can send it. Yeah.
Okay. I'll do that later today.
Thank you
Have
so
an
much,
amazing
Bruna.
day.
This was really awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Bye.
So, what is the big lesson from today's coaching call? Did you pick up on them? The simple supper box had some offer problems. So, it didn't include some of the products customers were most excited about. The positioning of it wasn't clear. The commitment felt a little too big, and there was no social proof attached to it yet. And those things matter when it comes to selling something for the first time. But what made this coaching call so interesting as I was reflecting on it is that we eventually discovered a second problem underneath the first one. So even if we fixed the offer, we still had to ask, is this the right offer for this stage of the customer journey? Because the best offer in the world will still struggle if it's being presented to the wrong person at the wrong time. All of those elements matter. And that's what I want you to think about this week as you evaluate your own product suite, your own sales process. If you have a product that isn't converting or an offer that isn't converting, I'll make sure I use the right word. Don't immediately assume that there's just one thing wrong. There could be multiple layers that you have to peel back. So maybe you don't have an offer. Maybe you're just selling a product, right? So maybe the offer itself needs work. Maybe it's the messaging that needs work, or you're missing a button on your website like Lexi was in the right spot, or maybe the positioning of that offer in the whole story, customer journey story is slightly off. Or maybe you're asking customers to make a commitment they haven't yet earned the trust to make. So your job as a marketer is to just get curious enough to uncover which problem you're actually solving, to find the root problem. And this is the kind of work we do inside Farm Marketing School all the time. I teach you the marketing journey. There's tons of do-it-yourself projects inside there where you can go and learn the step-by-step for how to build all the different elements in the marketing machine system. But then you start applying it to your own farm products and you see the flow that needs to happen to move customers deeper and deeper into your brand, how to pass the baton from one step of the journey to the next. And so you start building the systems that make this happen on rinse and repeat. So if you want to go deeper and you want to get some support this summer while you're in the trenches of selling, reach out, join Farm Marketing School for the summer. We have monthly group coaching calls. And like I said, once you've been in the program for 3 months, you have an opportunity to meet with me one-on-one and kind of dial in or troubleshoot something that's going on in your business. So that's what I'm here for. I love working with my farmers, and we just launched a new process, new project inside of Farm Marketing School this June, where I am teaching how to document your promotions. So I'm sharing the master Google Doc for how to actually document all the different marketing assets that you create for a specific promotion so that it's all in one spot. And then next year when you do it again, you can easily find what you did and just duplicate it because it's all there in one location. So that's a new project that I just launched. I'm putting new stuff in all the time, just trying to help support farmers. So I'd love to have you inside. To join my community, just head to mydigitalfarmer.com/FMS. All right, well, that's all I got today. I hope you enjoyed this little bonus coaching call. Today's show notes can be found at mydigitalfarmer.com/367. If you liked this episode, please share it with another farmer friend. If you haven't left me a review yet for the podcast on Apple Podcasts, please do that. I love going in there and seeing what you think, and it helps my show get shown organically to more farmers. So I appreciate if you would do that. And remember, if you want to get onto my email list, I will send you all kinds of free, like a crash course in farm marketing over the course of 3 months via email. You will learn so much, even if you can't open everything right away. Just stick it in a little file folder in your Gmail, and you can go back and read it later on when things aren't quite so hectic. But I would love to educate you and just encourage you, support you. You can do that by going to mydigitalfarmer.com/subscribe. Thank you for joining me today, everyone. And remember, I am over here cheering for you. I believe in you. Hang in there. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.